Hola amigos, bien o no, y saludos desde Medellín. Hoy el tema, siguiente con el video de ayer. Recuerdo que ayer el tema fue cambiar su perspectiva para identificar algunos problemas o dificultades. El tema de hoy es, entonces, cuando yo identificar los problemas, ¿cómo puedo mejorar este tipo de problemas y dónde puedo empezar para hacer estos cambios? Ese es el tema de hoy. So, hello again from Medellin. So the theme of today, we're going to carry on from what we talked about yesterday. So yesterday it was changing your perspective to help you identify perhaps problems you've overlooked, things perhaps you do need to change or improve. So let's say we've done that part of the process and now we're aware of something that we need to improve. Okay, you say, so, well, how do I improve that? Where do I start? That's what we're going to look at today. So let's take an easier example. Let's say you've identified a particular problem, maybe like, well, in my case, Spanish tenses cause me some problems because you have to change the verbs quite a bit, and sometimes I get my expressions confused. So I end up using a very basic form of like the past tense when really I should be using other forms. How can I get around that? Well, the easiest way, I think, for that is to pick a fairly standard sentence, or maybe two sentences, not much more than that. Very short, very easy to remember. And then go back and keep changing the same sentence into the different ways you could say that in the past. So this would be something like, I did, I was doing, I had done. It all expresses the past, but in slightly different ways. And because you're keeping the basic sentence the same, you should more easily see, if you like, the grammatical changes. And if, like me, you have trouble remembering all the verb endings, like for Spanish, I know I have to change these for every person, so I'm going to have to go through all of the I, you, he, we, they, them, us kind of changes. So there might be quite a lot of repetition, but again, because the basic sentence will stay the same, all I'm going to change are the people I'm talking about and the time we're expressing. It should make it a bit easier to see what part of the verb or the sentence I need to change to express that. And then in the future, all I have to do really is then just change up some of the vocabulary to talk about the specific thing I need to talk about then. But I've already memorized the pattern, which is how those verb endings change, this kind of thing. So that's one way to do it. Pick yourself a standard sentence, rewrite it as many times as you need to show all the variant forms of that expression you're having trouble with. Second type of problem. Let's say you're at work, for instance, and you have a repetitive type of conversation, something perhaps you repeat a lot with clients, either because you're asking them for information or you have to give them information, share information with them. And you're noticing this is not going smoothly. Okay, so think carefully about the way you normally say that. Write it down, look at it again, be critical. Is it as simple as it could be? Because usually, the more you can simplify those type of things, the better it's going to sound. It will be easier for you to say and will make more sense to the person you're saying it to. So again, have a rewrite, look at it, think, do I need to say it like that? Look at some different ways you could say it. See if that's something that you can actually say. Don't just rely on the textbook to give you that form of phrase. If you find that phrase difficult, it's not for you. Try for an alternative. If need be, and depending on the type of dialogue you're having, look a bit wider. Maybe there's a film where they have a similar conversation. How do they say it then? Is that something you could use? But really, it's a way of looking at particular situations, being very specific, either because, that's the grammar point I keep getting wrong. I can't understand that past tense, or every time I talk to that particular group of people or on that topic, I get confused. Okay, something that specific. Be honest. Look at the way you did it last time, where perhaps it didn't work. Write it down, have a look at it and think, okay, how could I do this better? I mean, is there a simpler way to say this? Because that again is going to start to help to show you a more obvious solution. Don't keep it all in your head. Put it on paper first. You will probably see that, wow, those ideas I've written down there, they're in a bad order. If I order them differently, they'll be easier to understand. Small things like that. So there we are. I hope you find that one helpful. Déjame saber en los comentarios, como siempre. But for now, from Medellin, we'll say cheerio.